Welcome back everybody to PooliemagTV, the raw, unedited, unscripted NUFC fan channel, where everybody's got an opinion and nobody's opinion's wrong. So, this is my first video in over 2 weeks. I took a little bit of a time off because I wanted really to reevaluate my channel and see where I want to take it. I don't have any massive expectations of this starting to be a career for me or whatever, but I wasn't enjoying the product that I was making. Match reviews, previews, all the big channels do that and they do it a hell of a lot better than I can. Now, I have an opinion on Newcastle United and I will share that opinion once in a while. Like today's video will be about Eddie Howe staying on next season. I will be doing a video about that. If there's any major signings or transfers out, I'll do thingies on that. I'll do videos on that. But I won't be doing every game. I won't be doing a review or a preview. If we've won, I might do a review. If we lose, I might, depending on the score or how I feel. But that's not going to be where I'm at all the time. I can't keep up with it. There's too many matches. There's too many transfer stories. And it's not my full-time job. So I'm going to change this channel into something that I want to do. Now, if I want to rant, I'll have a rant. If I want to have a chat about something, I'll have a chat about something. But I've got a couple of ideas, so I'm going to do a quiz on Wednesday. 20-question Newcastle quiz, all about Kevin Keegan's time in charge of Newcastle. It should be fun, should be interactive, something a little bit different. Now, I love my top 5 videos. Now I've got better in front of camera. I've got better titles. And I've got better thumbnails. I'm going to start bringing my top 5 series back. And instead of having a match preview, whoever we verse, I'm going to go through our top 5 games against that team, in my opinion, and see if you agree. Something a little bit more interactive, something a little bit more interesting, something to keep me going, because I don't get paid for this. You know, I'm nowhere near getting paid for it. It's nowhere near becoming a full-time job for me. So I'm going to have to do something that I enjoy doing. And reviews, previews and match reviews 3 times a week, it just wasn't enjoyable for me. Now, if I could, you know, I was getting a little bit sick of repeating myself, which is why I've had a couple of weeks off. Now, I know I've made numerous Eddie Howe videos, and this might sound like a bit of a repeat, but this is my first video back. And on a Monday, we're going to have a little bit more of a serious video. So it's going to be, it probably will be the hot topic. Whether it be Eddie Howe, whether it be a player leaving, whether it be the training ground, whether it be a new stadium, whether it be the new kit, whether it be transfers in or out. Mondays are going to be all about what's going on in Newcastle. So, in Newcastle land, up-to-date news. So I'm going to condense it into one video. I'm going to pick a topic. The main part of the video will be about that topic, and then I'll probably veer off into other little bits and all, like I always do. But then a Wednesday, I'm going to have a quiz. You know, it's something a little bit fun. It won't always be Newcastle related, but obviously the first few will be. But there'll be the World Cup's coming up. We'll have a World Cup quiz. We'll have England quizzes. I'm an Hartlepool United fan, so we'll have non-league quizzes. You know, we'll have non-league questions. You know, it'll just be football related, mainly towards Newcastle United. But it'll have a bit of everything. And then, like I say, when we're about to play a match, I'm going to come up with our top 5 performances. If it's in a cup game and we haven't played that team 5 times, then obviously I'll come up with something a little bit different. But if it's in the Premier League, then usually Newcastle United will have played that team 5 times, and I will give you my opinion on what I think our best 5 games against that club might be. And it could be, i.e. Liverpool, could be a couple of losses because they were cracking games, if you know where I'm going with that one. So, yeah, I just wanted to give you a little bit of an update on why the channel hasn't been on for a couple of weeks and where I want to take it, because I want to start having fun again. I've got a 90s review to do with my dad. I want my dad on the channel a bit more. I want to get out and about and talking to people a little bit more. Football fans, Newcastle fans, any fans, you know. It doesn't have to be all Newcastle United related. I'm an Hartlepool United fan and all, and I'm a football fan in general, so watch this space. I'm going to start doing something a little bit different each week. Like, I've started with like my experiences at football matches. I feel more confident in front of the camera, so I'm going to revamp them videos and redo them, you know, and hopefully they come across a little bit better, because I'm not as shy or as nervous or whatever in front of the camera as when I first started. So I think they'd be good to tell again. I can think about them a little bit more, speak a little bit more eloquently. But I spoke 5 minutes, and I think 5 minutes is enough about where the channel is heading in direction. Hopefully you support the channel, hopefully you enjoy the direction, and hopefully the more you see of me, the more you realise that I am trying to do something a little bit different in this space, because we can all get caught up in what the big, say that again, with what the big channels are doing. But sometimes it's good to have a little bit of a niche within a niche. And football review channels is a niche, but I want mine to be a little bit different. I don't want it to be, because I'll quote it to say wrestling, right? So you're watching WWE, right? Why then would you want to watch your local wrestling TV show? You know, because WWE's on. Now, I can't compete with the Toon Review. I can't compete with Evermore. I can't compete with the True Geordie. They've got far better production than I have. So the only way you really want to watch me is if I'm doing something different. Now, if your local wrestling show is doing something completely different to the WWE, you might watch it. But if it's just trying to be the WWE, well, why would you watch it? Because you already watched the WWE. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm a wrestling fan, if you never guessed. So that's why I brought that analogy up. But I want to be something a little bit different. Anyway, moving on. So it looks like Newcastle United are going to be keeping Eddie Howe. I don't agree with that decision. I don't think he deserves another shot at it after this season. It hasn't just been a fall off this season, has it? It's been horrendous. He's been proven and found out off nigh on every manager he's played. Even Ruben Amorim outschooled him, outthought him, outclassed him. His reliance on these so-called favourites. Well, people sometimes, you know, say he doesn't have favourites. He clearly does. It's obvious that he does. To start Lewis Hall at right back, just to shoe on Dan Burn in, is not what a good manager does. I'm sorry, but it's not. Dan Burn is not a left back and never has been a left back. And it will come back to haunt Eddie Howe. Eddie Howe, I wouldn't trust him in the transfer market. I really wouldn't. He doesn't buy the type of players that are going to move us forward. They might get us, if he's only playing one game a week for most of the season, they might get us up to about 7th or 8th next season. But I don't think the players that he wants and the style that he likes is going to get us where we need to be. Now, I know you had this meeting at Mafton Hall. Now, I'm aware that obviously certain things will have been said in that meeting, but Eddie Howe ain't going to change the way he plays because of one meeting. And we ain't suddenly going to start signing number 10s with loads of creativity and silky dribbling wingers. If we keep an Eddie Howe, believe me, it's going to be the same again. More of the same. Why keep Eddie Howe if you're going to completely expect him to change the way he plays? Why keep Eddie Howe and buy players you know he isn't going to enjoy playing? Or if he does play them, he's going to completely change them. We are getting more of the same, believe me. We keep Eddie Howe, you'll be getting big, strong runners. That's it. And when they tire, our season falls flat again. When they get injured, our season falls flat again. We've got no creativity. Look at us against Forest. Absolutely none. We pass it nice side to side, back again, side to side, back again. You can create a dance move out of it. Side to side, back again, front to back. As soon as we get to the final third, we've got nothing. Now, our strikers aren't great. Nick Voltemada's got absolutely no confidence. Wiss is shot. And as much as he runs about and tries, isn't at the level you want him. He's grew on me and I like him. But he's not at the level to take you to the Champions League. I'm sorry, but he's not. Not yet, anyway. He may get there, but he's just not at that point yet. Anthony Gordon looks like he's going to be leaving. Harvey Barnes is a quality player, and Jacob Ramsey is. That goal there is what we're lacking. Somebody who can play through the lines. Voltemada set up Asula, playing through the lines. He set up Whistler against Arsenal, chipping it over. But he doesn't play them often. Jacob Ramsey doesn't get his game because he's not physical enough. You don't need him to be physical all the time. We need creativity. Physical gets you where you are now, mid-table. You know, and I'm sorry, but it's been like this for a few years, and a lot of things have papered over that. I've been saying it for the last 2.5 years. I doubt Eddie Howe. Then he won the Carabao Cup, and I sort of got back on board. But when you actually look, we've lost over 40 league games in the last 3 seasons, and every time we get found out, we don't come back in games. We can't. We don't score enough now. We don't defend well enough. We've been found out. And I think we got found out last season. But we had Tonali to prove a point. We had Bruno having a season of his life. And Isaac having the season of his life. I'm sorry, but I don't see where you can look at and think, oh yeah, Eddie Howe's going to change this. I really don't. I think it's a massive, massive risk for PIF to be putting their onus on this man. Because it's not just this season. We stumbled at the beginning of the last season. We stumbled through most of the season before. We go on streaky runs, Newcastle. We have done for the last 3 seasons. This season we've been found out. We were great when we finished 4th. Since then, we've been very hit and miss. Very hit and miss. Don't get me wrong, we've had some great performances in that time. We've had some magnificent performances. Some great wins. Carabao Cup, obviously, getting back into the Champions League, but we scraped the Champions League last season. We finished 7th the season before, and now we're 13th. We're not hitting the heights of that season we finished 4th, and we never have done, because football evolves and Eddie Howe hasn't. Eddie Howe expects players to come in and play a certain way, and mostly strips their strengths away from them. I know people are bang on about how great he made Joe Linton, right? Yes, fine, brilliant. And Isaac wasn't the player he was until Eddie Howe put his arm around. I'm not saying Eddie Howe's a bad coach. I'm not saying that he's rubbish. I'm not saying he wouldn't get us 8th next season. What I'm saying is, if you want to be the best club that we can be, Eddie Howe isn't the man. He's done a very, very good job. Very good job. But he's been found out, and I don't think he has the ability to change the way he plays football. And I think giving him more money sets us back even further. Look at that horrendous summer window. You can blame what you want. He tracked Jacob Ramsey for 2 years, and he's looked all right this season when he's been given a chance, but barely been given a chance. Alanga tracked for 2 years. Horrendous. Nick Voltemada, why buy him? Clearly doesn't suit the way you want to play. You're not willing to be flexible and expect him to change everything about himself. Hasn't worked. Could it work? Absolutely could work. Because Nick Voltemada is a quality player with a better team and a better manager with better tactics and better formations, better instructions and better directions. Nick Voltemada would thrive. You've got Wisser, dreadful. Malik Chow's played well this season. But would you really trust him with £250 million again? Because I wouldn't. I really wouldn't. Who are we going to get? Because he doesn't play the youth. So if you're on about buying these young players, he doesn't play them. He doesn't play any of the academy players. So I want people to explain what they see in Eddie Howe. Not like what they saw in him a year and a half ago. What they see in him now. What's he proved to you now that makes you think he's capable of taking this team to the next level? Because I don't think he's proved anything. I think he's tactically inept, he's stubborn, and he's, I just don't get it. He's been found out in loads of matches, been found out wanting loads of matches. He has favourites, over-reliance on certain players, and I just don't think his style of football wins you leagues. I don't think it gets you in Europe every year. He relies too much on pace rather than creativity. You need both. We've got pace, but we don't have nothing else. For 3.5 years, we have struggled to beat a team with a low block. Why? Because he buys the same players all the time. Or, if he doesn't, he expects them to play like that anyway. You can see Voltemada for that when he come on against Arsenal. Even yesterday wasn't his greatest performance, but he's wanting it to his feet. He's wanting it. And it's almost as if they've been brainwashed to just pass it out to the side so we can get across into the box. It's easy to read. We're too easy to read. And I don't think Eddie Howe has the nous in him to change this. I don't think he will change it. I think he'll change personnel, but I think you'll get more of the same. And don't get me wrong, when it comes off, it comes off. And he might need a new squad. And he might need new people in that squad to listen to his message. And it might work. But then again, can he get into Europe, and then can he replicate it with 2-3 games a week? He hasn't proven to me that he can. Every time we do well in the Carabao Cup, our league form falls off. Every time we go into the Champions League, our league form falls off. That's on him. And now the players haven't been great this season. And I think they've lost confidence in him. I really do. I think they've lost confidence in the whole project, if I'm honest. And I have a little bit. I don't think PIF are fully invested. Eddie Howe looks shattered and out of ideas. And I was looking forward to the summer, but I'm not looking forward to it so much now, because I just don't think that this board and this manager is going to be able to turn this around. And I hope I'm wrong. I really do. And I keep saying that, and I'm sick of saying it. I don't want Newcastle to fail. I love Newcastle United. When they score, I want them to win. When we win, I'm over the moon. But I'm realistic. I'm not idealistic, like some people are, where they think the fucking sun shines every day and everything's rosy in the garden all the time, and, you know, life's rainbows and butterflies and everything like that. I'm not one of them people. So you might think I'm negative, but I'm actually not. I'm realistic. And I can only go off what I see, and I don't see this club being turned around with Eddie Howe at the wheel. I might be wrong, but I don't think I am. Anyway, I've been waffling on for 17 minutes now. My first video back in a couple of weeks. Hopefully, gets good traction, and hopefully a few people watch till the end. But anyway, as I always say, keep it black and white and keep it PooliemagTV. Over and out, folks.